What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lore Reloaded. As always, it is my pleasure to have you guys here. My extreme honor to be your guest, your host of the day. Not quite sure what we'll talk about. Trying to do this every day this month. Not sure how that's going to go. Given a couple of things, I've been invited to a Dungeons and Dragons thing that's going to happen in about an hour-ish. And so I'm not sure I'm going to do that live. I don't think you guys would really enjoy that all that much, if I'm being honest. But I guess we'll see how it goes. Today we'll be talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. Whatever it is that keeps you up at night. Whatever it is that really just inspires you. Rock Solid said this was a truly, completely terrible episode. I would say it was pretty bad, with some good things. Probably, I think I'd agree that it was probably the worst episode in all of Lower Decks, and a really weak Trek episode. I think that's something fair to say. Specifically in, well, first off, there was way too much praise for Mariner. It honestly was, by the way, the new Orville's coming out. What keeps me up at night is the lack of Orville. That's actually, the new season's coming out very shortly. My cats are right here. Mariner really was kind of a Mary Sue-ish in this one. I think the Mugado stuff was pretty over the top. I would say I did like the fact that Boimler and Samantha, which is his name, were able to fix things using diplomacy and using actual economics to talk specific Ferengian stuff. So I was kind of excited about that. And they should have been playing Tongo. I agree. Yeah, I mean, just overall, I do think it was a weaker episode. It really didn't add much. I have to be honest. What's going on, Alligator Jones? One of the most awesome people on planet Earth. If you don't know Alligator, you don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. So anyway, yeah, I don't know much more to say beyond the fact that I think it was a really weak episode. It's worst of all Lower Decks, one of the weakest in Trek. I don't even know that it had potential. I don't know what you would have done with that, to be quite honest with you. I also liked the Tendi arc, making her more assertive. I honestly, the only thing on that I would have changed is I wish that the Doctor had been doing it as a test, not because she didn't want to get tested or cared. She's the chief medical officer. She got tested a lot, but more, it was like the ultimate way of making Tendi more assertive, like she was the final boss type deal. I think that would have made that arc a lot better. Good, now that I got my phone back, well, I'm glad you got your phone back. I love the Orville, just wish they do something distance themselves from Trek. I think they have been doing things to distance themselves from Trek. There are specific episodes that were very, very Trek, like literally stealing the plot, but there's been a lot that they haven't. I feel like it's just a let's have fun episode. I don't even think it was a let's have fun. It didn't really feel all that fun to me. Now, of course, that is subjective. Doctors make the worst patients. I think they make the worst patients in that they want to diagnose themselves. Not that they don't want to be tested or anything, you know? The Orville is almost as terrible as Lower Decks. Rock Solid, there's nothing that you enjoy. You literally suck the life out of, like, everything. Like, I hate so much who you choose to be. Bet you can't name that reference. Bet no one can. I just wish I liked CBS more, so I'd watch Lower Decks live and not just in clips. Well, I mean, what you could do is do what a lot of people are doing. Wait till it's finished. do 1 month of CBS and then just watch all of it. Like, that's what I would honest to God do. Was Riker in it? If not, it was trash. True. The Office. That's right, Jose Aguilar. The Office. Until they got picked up by Peacock, I would watch The Office once or twice every year. It was in it. I didn't even realize I did it. I would just have a Office thing. Unfortunately, I got to the point where I just skip episodes that I didn't like. I haven't watched it as much as watched Star Trek, though. I love DS9 and Ratchet and Clank and the Famicom. Okay, that's intriguing. I respect your right to like things, but I hate giving stuff money that I don't like. Well, you like Lower Decks, right? You actually enjoy watching Lower Decks, so you are giving money to something you enjoy. At least that's the story on the street. That's what I'm being told. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. What do you enjoy? What do you like going through? What's going through in your life? Yeah, I don't know. For most of it, I guess I thought it was, there was more stuff I didn't like about Lower Decks than did. I thought it was really a reversal of Mariner. I thought they had Mariner in a good place. I don't think this is going into a negative spot. I think they just had a one-off where she's now more out of character than she usually is. Of course, you realize Star Trek Day is on September 8th. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff on Star Trek Day. Don't know that I'll be covering it. I don't know. Lore, one of my buddies who doesn't go online much, linked me one of your videos the other day. You're becoming the Star Trek guy that even the normies look to when they're looking for hot Trek takes. So, Takangel, you want to hear something funny? Which is cool. I'm glad people like it. I don't do Facebook much. I used to do a lot more. I don't do as much anymore now. I did a Facebook. I was on a Facebook Trek group a while back. This was a long while back. Kat Walski was still doing videos. That's how long back it was. And I got into an argument about Deep Space Nine, and someone linked me my video to disprove me. That was a special, interesting back and forth. Something I really didn't like was Mariner name-dropping an episode name. It was just lazily reference comedy. What was the name drop? I didn't catch that, if they did. I also love and even shouted the channel out earlier. Well, thank you, Rock Solid. I appreciate that. My cats are that day with the new hamster I adopted to give a home to. Cats are what way? They like to eat it. Loreception. Yeah, it was funny. It's also funnier because I don't go out of the way to hide my name. So, in theory, they should have seen an episode and seen. Of course, I don't do it every upload either. But if they watched me as much as they said they did, you'd think that they might have said, "Huh, that's really weird that this dude's name is James," and I'm using the name James and my last name too because my last name was there. She called them Last Outpost Ferengis. Okay. I should consider watching my favorite Star Trek episodes sometime soon. Well, you should do that. Why not? My cats want the hamster, but not to give the happy kisses to. Well, I think they would consider them happy kisses. Depending on your hamster's preferences, he may also like the happy kisses, but generally most hamsters don't enjoy that kind. I don't know. I mean, hamsters might be into BDSM. I'm not sure. Apparently, those Gulgatos, or whatever the hell they are into that, which is kind of weird, kind of odd, if you ask me. But maybe. Who am I? I don't kink shame. Whatever somebody wants to do. I mean, Mogatos ain't my thing, but you know. I use some of your videos to prove to a friend that Federation would be a terrible place to live in. It can be, depending on where you live and what they are. Jesse Gender in the house. What's going on? Miss Gender, who is taking a day off. Hope you are enjoying it, madam. Also, take a look at your Twitter messaging, by the way. No big deal either way, but it was a thought for us to better communicate. I'd really love Lore Reloaded if he'd help me move or develop transporter technology. I mean, if you tell me where you are, I guess I could help you move. Either that or I could get Jesse to do it. All things lead to Jesse, so you know how that goes. Why did you say that? Get the BDSM hamster images out of my... Hey, Jesse, you doing anything tonight? Any shout-outs? Of course, you don't need to. Your channel's bigger than mine now. So you doing anything the people will want to see? Also, BDSM hamsters has to be a thing. Let's see. BDSM hamsters enter. Of course, they're actually delivering the pizza now. Of course they would be. Images. Oh my god. Don't type in BDSM hamsters. Don't do it. Apparently, it's also a sexual pose. Apparently. And my pizza gets delivered right now. All right, all you guys stay here. There's 23 people. No one better leave. Not one person. It lied to me. It lied to me. Is anyone else here an artist or writer besides just me? Well, Isaac.
Well,
I am a writer. And an artist.
Well, I'm an artist, and this is actually my fine arts teacher.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, you're so much better at that than I am.
Mm-hmm. You should see the drawings of the eyes he made. They're so realistic. That's probably the best drawings he ever made.
Best ever.
They're always black.
I'd say anyone who works in filming or movies and stuff is an artist as well. I watch these on my phone, so I'm good. Good. Is anyone else? I enjoy writing very much. I don't have much time for it these days. Well, I understand that. What are my thoughts on the casting of Annie Wershing as a new Borg queen? They have a new Borg queen? Why do they need a new Borg queen? Or are you just saying you'd make her the new Borg queen? Oh, Star Trek Picard adds Annie Wershing to play the Borg Queen in Season 2. Huh. So, here's my thoughts when it comes to Borg Queens. I don't think there is specifically a quote-unquote one Borg Queen. I think depending on what the collective needs and what is occurring, they have multiple queens, which is why you see the actress change. Talk to you later, Rock Solid. Thanks for coming. I think that whatever the collective believes it needs is the line that they activate. The other Borg queen quit because she was Borged of it. F in the chat for Rodan. He's about to be blocked for 300 seconds. So, you know, if you guys want to say goodbye to him, I can completely understand that. Popcast helping out the channel. If you guys haven't checked them out, they're pretty awesome. They've been killing it too. The podcast, I think, has been doing really, really well. Thanks for supporting the channel, by the way. It's the only way I keep the lights on. Yeah, you guys have been just destroying it with the stuff that you've been putting out. And they make better thumbnails than me, so you guys should check them out. It was really bad. Yeah, the most recent one, it was the weakest of all of Lower Decks. There was more about it that I didn't like than what I did. Picard went from absolute fave disco-era Trek show to the most eye-roll worthy in seven episodes. It was pretty meh. You missed something. What'd you miss? What are we talking about? What do you guys think that you missed? Do you think Locutus was a queen, and does that mean there was a hierarchy of queen? I don't think Locutus was a queen. I do think there are multiple queens. I wouldn't say that there are any hierarchies. I would say that it's based on what the collective needs, as I said. So the collective will activate perhaps a war queen, or a queen that is better with data collection, or things like that. Rodan said that Lower Decks wasn't that bad. No, he didn't. He said something else too, I thought. Oh yeah, he gave a bad joke. Rodan said the other Borg queen quit because she was bored of it. So he's gone. When they got to the android planet, they lost me and never found me. Okay. Fair enough. Tindy's story was super boring. I think it would have been really interesting, and I think they could have went somewhere if the chief medical officer was actually testing her. If she wasn't actually scared of being scanned, if she just was trying to help Tindy be more assertive. Not actually, because she's a chief medical officer. She gets scanned all the time. So I don't understand that. Borg were supposed to inspired by the Cybermen from Doctor Who. I have never heard that. I could see that, but I've never heard that. Venom didn't get a notification. Well, I didn't get a notification either, sir. I didn't get a notification either. Speaking of queens, what is Grudge a queen of? She's a queen of everything. She is the queen. The queen to rule all queens. Oh wait, is this the newest? This is the newest episode. Yes. Not a huge fan of the newest episode, I gotta be honest. The webcomic creator, there was also thought it was related to Overmind from Captain Power. I don't know what Captain Power is. Don't even know. I think this issue is Patrick Stewart wants to play a feral old man, and many of us know Sir Patrick is anything but that. He's not that. I don't think he's the best writer, shall we say. I don't think that's his complete skill set, so I think that impacts what he's trying to do. I would also say that what he wanted to do is not what we know Picard for. By the way, I'm going to have to stop in a second and go pick up what was supposed to be here. The application lied to me. And unfortunately, the way they do social distancing, it's like, here's how we're going to drop the food on the ground. Then we're going to walk 6 feet away, but we have to see you take the food. This is why DoorDash beats most companies, by the way. Where do you get the make those Lacars background appear during your live stream? I have Cute Fuzzy Weasel made them for me. I paid him, but he did good work. Yeah, that last episode was a bit bland. It was. I just discovered that Star Trek ship waifus are a thing. I discovered it episode 1 of Lower Decks, personally. Yeah, I mean, so they put it on a thing. They put it on the bag that they carried in to keep it warm, but it's like we're gonna social distance. How is it taking longer? Kind of weird. Are they taking it back to the store? That'd be frustrating. About to get free pizza if that's what's happening. I don't see how they could get... They're turning around. Now it's 2 minutes. Yeah, I think they're lost too. To be fair, there was a comic book crossover between Star Trek and Doctor Who involving both Borg and Cybermen. I can see that. I can see that. They're also... Q becomes a prophet. That was an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there... Who seriously likes it? Not like Tindy, like the literally ships... Like the literally ships in the form of anime girls? Who are you talking about? I need to know. Who says it was pizza, sir? Who said it was pizza? I think they're taking it back to the store. I'm going to be frustrated if that's the case. Lower Decks is a discount Rick and Morty cash grab with a Starfleet logo on it. Well, Derek Santel, I guess you have not seen Lower Decks. That's what that tells me. Either that or you have a really, really weird idea of what Rick and Morty is. Because there's one thing it's not, I would say, is Rick and Morty. For sure. It's a pineapple with pizza bits on it. I never said pizza. I don't believe it. Hey, Laura, glad to be back. Welcome, Adam of Gray Skull. I'm glad you're back, too. I, too, am glad. All right. So I shouldn't order food when I'm talking to you guys. That's what this tells me. At least not from this place. I'll be right back. There's 32 people. Y'all, every one of you have to stay here. Don't go anywhere. So I ordered from Papa John's. Papa John's gave me the number to their driver. Instead of Papa John's reaching out, they said, hey, you reach out to the driver, and gave me the number. So if you ever want the personal information of a driver, order pizza from Papa John's, call them up, say, hey, I want to make sure that I got my order. Can I reach out? And they will give you the first number. They will give you the number. Old Trek is dead. Long live new Trek. I mean, you're not wrong. At first it felt like R&M, but after season 1 it certainly has more substance. I don't know if I care yet, but it's better than I thought it would be. Still not excited by it. It's not R&M. It's not Rick and Morty. I don't care. I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking. It's not Rick and Morty. For me personally, by the way, if I was ever working for Papa John's, I would not be happy that my information was given. And that's why Papa John's is a bad company. It may very well be. So that car literally stopped somewhere. I don't even know. Can't do anything. Trek has been remastered. Lord Reloaded, the drawing style is very similar, you must have. I wouldn't say it's even similar. No, I don't think so. No, I think they're cleaner. I think the drawing is a lot cleaner. Now, I mean, doesn't it have someone who came from Rick and Morty? I thought the channel was taken down. YT unsubbed me like half a year ago. Well, don't let it unsub you. That's all I got to say. Just don't. This is the first time I've ever had issues with Papa John's delivering. I don't know. I'll give them 10 minutes more and then probably shut it down. Denzel Thomas, what if the Preservers conspired with an alien race to create the Doomsday Machine to wreck the USS Constellation, but give Starfleet a tactical advantage? I think it all fits. I think we know exactly what happened. With all due respect, Star Trek has something for everyone, which is why it's lasted for so long. I would say that there was a consistency that could turn people off in Legacy Trek. I don't think that you could say it has something for everyone in Legacy Trek. I think there was a specific point and a specific audience they were going for. I do think that with the new Trek, with the new Disco era Trek, they are specifically trying to make something for everyone. I would agree with it at that point. Thought he was just a head writer? He may be. I'm not completely sure what it's connected to. Oh, are we actually dropping stuff off? Is someone here? Someone is here! Oh my god! It's happening, people! It's happening! It's go time! It is go time! Alright, sorry this has sucked. Now we can focus here. Trek Continues is a fan production. That is correct. I just binge watched the first season of DS9 and the trilogy at the start of the second season. Except for 2 to 3 episodes, I enjoyed the drama of politics. Then something happens and I want to jump to the Dominion War. Yeah, I have to say, first season's pretty weak. So, Picard sucks. Okay. I have a new title for the stream. Lore Reloaded in the Quest for Pizza. I mean, you're not wrong. Just checked. He was showrunner for Rick and Morty Season 4 before leaving Solar Opposites. Okay. So but he's not the animator. So there is that. I don't think the animation is similar. Honestly, I think that's inaccurate, to say the least. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. Thanks for having patience. You know, again, I think it had more bad than good. I do like that they negotiated their way out. They don't have to fight every time. Starfleet, the ship, like, exploding and breaking apart, I feel like they could have did more with that. I don't know. I think that engineering could have detected that something was going on. I get the joke, though. I subbed just to draw the ire of your ex, bro. May you and yours enjoy continued success. I'm not completely sure that she... Well, you know, I joke a lot. But I think... I could be wrong. I think my ex just moved on for the most part. I think. I don't know. I like to joke about it, though. The animation and style of Star Trek Prodigy looks promising. I don't hate it or love it, to be honest. Can we get 31 pizzas in the comment? Who doesn't like 31 pizzas? I mean, come on. I think Makmaman was a character designer in Lower Decks and Solar Opposites after doing a couple of seasons on Rick and Morty, but he started out doing Star Trek fan projects. I did not know that about him. I think he's probably the best writer and best showrunner we got when it comes to Trek so far. We'll have to see how Pike is done. We'll have to see Discovery. But, yeah. The ship breakup seemed a bit as an excuse so the bridge crew had something to do and not realize the whole landing party went missing. I thought that was linked to the... I thought that was linked to the Ferengi, because I could have swore that ship just randomly went off. I don't know what that was. So, I don't know. I was never a fan for Star Wars Clone Wars. I don't think I will enjoy Prodigy, since it's aimed for a younger audience. Well, Circe does. You can have bad taste in things, because, you know, anyone who doesn't love Clone Wars, and specifically doesn't love Ahsoka, is a bad person. And I you know, I mean that in the nicest way. You know, maybe you can't help being a bad person. You know. Put all of that on the pizza. We'll do that. That's what we need to do. MacMan did the TNG Season 8 Twitter thing. What TNG Season 8 Twitter thing? One stupid thing about Lower Decks is there's a blur out of nudity, but the show is not made for kids. This should unblur, and it's on a streaming service. Yeah, it still may be a little too far for Trek. I don't know. I'm kind of an old-style Trek fan. So I was alright with it. I don't know. Am I the only one who has zero interest in yet another Star Trek prequel? Feels that way of hype for Strange New World. I'm the exact same way. I don't feel bad. I'm not. I would love to have things post Dominion War. That'd be nice. Or hell, in the TNG era if we're going to do it. I don't know what this love of the original series is. I really don't. Where do I think Star Trek started to fail in ideas? Depends on what you mean in ideas. Depends on your definition of fail. I think exploring strange new worlds and strange new things probably started to lose gas in Deep Space Nine, early Deep Space Nine, I'd say, and fully lost gas in Voyager. But that just means it had to change. Honestly, the original series and the Next Generation are so wildly different. Like, they might as well be in two different continuities, two different timelines. I feel every bit confident that all the people who talk about it's not real Trek, it's not continuity today would be saying that about TNG if TNG was being released. I have every confidence. I would bet money on it. The ship blowing up was a scam. Admiral Daddy called Captain Freeman to tell her that there was a scammer. Yeah, I know. I read it. I watched it. I know ultimately. They should have caught that though. They have engineers that can turn rocks into replicators. I really feel like. Anyone remember the game Star Trek Legacy? I do. Back in the day, there was a guy who did something cool with Star Trek Legacy. If it's the one I'm thinking about, he actually played a game of Star Trek Legacy and put clips of the Dominion War in because it ran that way. In the words of the Terminator, to hell with you. Okay. I always look at the episodes of the original series as separate continuities, one for each episode, with a few exceptions. That is a good way to look at it because they contradict themselves. The original series was never made with a franchise in mind. It really wasn't. I don't care what anybody says. There's no way you're going to write it the way you did and have a franchise in mind. There's no way. I would not do you the indignity of thinking you're that stupid to write the things the way you did and have a franchise in mind. I respect human intelligence too much. Donovan, he never said that it was Conan. What was Conan? Are we saying canon? I'm confused. Everyone said the Next Generation was not Trek at the time. Yeah, that's what's interesting to me. People don't believe it when you say it, but it's really true. Every time a new series has come out, people got pissed. The Next Generation, there were news articles and people writing in saying that it was absolutely horrible, that it is not Trek. People got mad at Deep Space Nine. A lot of people got mad that it was a black captain. You had honest-to-God racists, and you had people who were like, this is politically correct. By the way, politically correct is 90s speak for woke. In Voyager, they got mad because it was a female captain. I mean, and it's just, and there were writing campaigns and people who would never watch it again. The difference is there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube, there was no fandom menace, there was no good way to monetize hate. At least not in that. I mean, best way to monetize hate in the 90s and 2000s was to be religious, specifically Judeo-Christian. Now it's more just be on the internet and make up a pithy name for your cult. But yeah, every series had its haters. That's true. I will do more Battlestar Galactica videos at some point when I'm in a place, because I don't really want to talk about it all that much, because if it doesn't come to fruition, I always feel bad. At the end of this year, I'm going to be looking at getting a place and possibly a studio, or putting together a studio. And so I don't, I'm trying to maximize viewership and maximize entertainment so that I can make sure I'm in a position to do that. I may not be able to, but I'm looking for it. Oh, was it you or Lore Runner who pointed out Roddenberry BS of I'm so progressive when the Cage had one stereotyped person of Asian descent. I think Lore Runner specifically said discussed that, but I mean everyone who's done any research into Roddenberry has really gone on about that. Can you find us any newspapers or notes about Cisco haters, given how it's my favorite captain? I would suggest that you watch the Deep Space Nine documentary, because they have a few in there. You can find them. You have to do a lot of research. Again, this was... See, I understand that most all of you don't know what it was like before the advent of Twitter and YouTube, but way back in the before, way back in the black and white, literally black and white, you walk out and it was nothing but black and white. There was no color at any point. We all talked with 70, not 70, we all talked in 50s jive. It was 90s was a really weird time. A lot of that was done on things called paper with pen or pencil. And what would happen, and this is really crazy, so what would happen is there's like these little pieces of paper that were folded over on each other, and it created a little place where you could put more paper in. And so what you do is you'd write on a piece of paper with a pen or pencil, like we discussed. You'd fold that up. You would put it in this piece of paper that's folded over, and then you would take these things, and you would they were little pieces of paper too. You would lick the back of them, and you'd put it on the back, because you had to buy something that was called stamps. Why it was called stamps, I don't know. It was more stickers, but basically stamps. And you then write where it went. You would put it in this magical box. Generally, they were black. Sometimes they were brick. And this man of magicness would come by in a vehicle, pick it up, and magically deliver it to him. Usually took a couple of days, possibly a week or two. And then the other person, when they received it, they would then take it out of, and it was called an envelope. It was a wondrous thing. They would take it out of the envelope. They would open up the paper, and they would actually read it. And there was no photo scanners. You couldn't use a device to take a picture of it. Unfortunately, it was just there on paper, and so you could file it away. And there was these things called files, and there was these, like, as far as the eye could see, there would be these receptacles that you could put this paper in, and you could file it, or you could throw it away, especially if it was hate mail. So it was a weird time. It was a weird time back when we used leeches. I was born in '93. I hate you. Yeah, I hate you. I'm gonna say I hate you, Isaac. I'll go with that. Hear only half of what you said out of context, licking things and putting things in holes. Dude, that's the life. I tell you. Best thing to do is to be single in your 30s and 40s. It's awesome. There was Netscape chat rooms back then, Lore. Even YouTubers, sort of. You had to download their videos. I don't think there were YouTubers. I don't know about all that. I know that when you got onto the internet in the 90s or 2000s, first off, you would have to call. Your computer would actually call people on things called landlines. Now, these were lines connected to the house. Really weird, I know. And it would make weird noises. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And then when you started to download, it would start at like 3 seconds and then move to 6 years and then go to 30 minutes and then go to 20 seconds. You know, you never knew when you were going to get it. It was always a surprise. It was always something interesting. Then here I am, born in 2000. I was poor, so I just recently started using the internet. Okay, well, the internet's fun. Back in the 90s, it was so annoying to have to wait a week for my 256-character letter calling Ann Coulter the C word. That's true. God help you if you had a number that was close to the number you were supposed to dial out for the modem. Let's say that there was a number that was 800-922-1234. And that was the number your computer had to call to the other computer for it to connect, like for you to get to the internet. Now, if you had that number, except you had 1235, all day you would just be receiving calls with computers trying to connect. Thoughts on the California class starship? The California class starship, most of them are broken down, beaten starships that rely on other vessels to do much of anything, with originally pompous crews, and really aren't all that self-sufficient, but think that they are and want to give their opinions to other people. If ever there was a class of ship to be called a California class, I think that represents it very well. Wait, you've had phone internet? It was called dial-up back in my day, buddy. And I had it as a kid when I was 8, 9, 10, all the way into my teens before we got out of that. There was something called a payphone. Who remembers them? There are actually still payphones around, believe it or not. I remember fax machines too. The best thing you could do if you ever wanted to screw with a company that had a fax machine was take a black sheet of paper and consistently fax it over and over and over to the company, because then it would just use all the ink. Who remembers when what were the pagers? Pagers were a thing. God, man. Technology has changed. Has technology changed, or have we? That's the real question. Now I know where the name of dial-up internet icon comes from. Thanks, I've learned something new. I'm glad being so freaking old that I can tell you what an antiquated piece of technology was that I used in my day. I'm glad that I could be there for you. Now we know what lore did to bring... I never really did that because there's never a company that made me mad, but man, is that ingenious. The internet was amazing in the 90s. Anyone who wasn't smart enough to configure their IP settings were segregated on AOL, and anyone saying dumb or fascist things would be banned. I'd completely disagree with that, actually. I think that in the 90s and the 2000s, it was the Wild West. You could literally do almost anything and get away with it. It was a dangerous time for kids to be on the internet, and it was the time of extreme jokes, the time of hostility. I think it's the exact opposite. I think you get I think it's much more restrictive today than it was. Oh, I saw something. Oh my God, it made me feel so bad. I hate it. Literally, it was either on a billboard or it was on the radio. I forget which, but it was like it said, not joking, if you've ever used floppy disks, it might be time to get checked for cancer. Oh my God, I hate. Don't grow old. Just don't grow old. Just don't do it. It was dangerous back then, that is for sure. Yeah, I think it was dangerous, a lot more open. It makes me wonder how sophisticated the Mars rovers are. Yeah, if anything, Nazi stuff was way more prevalent. That is true. That is true. Don't worry, Laura, I'll stay young forever. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Who used Napster or Lime? Napster back in the day was awesome, buddy. Napster was for music. LimeWire was for porn. That's what you use those two for. Those were specifically. You get the good porn from the LimeWire. You get songs from Napster. Oh, man. I remember the, first off, Gateway. Do you remember gateways when you were in school? How about, I remember like the screensavers where, screensavers where you would have like the maze. Do you remember the screensaver maze? Oh yeah, that's all LimeWire was used for. Absolutely. And yeah, there was actual Nazi stuff. That's all LimeWire was used for. That's all it was good for. That doesn't make you crazy eyes. I'm not sure why you think it would. Yeah, you could select what textures you wanted on the screensaver. Man, back in the day. Have you seen a turbo button on the PC? I feel like I remember that. Laura, my 29th birthday is coming up in October. I still remember dial-up and out. Yeah. Really? At 29? Yeah, it's 92. I guess that makes sense. Well, I mean, you were born 1992. You weren't using it at that point. Let's assume you started at 10. 2002. I could still see it in 2002. How old am I, Laura? I am currently the age of... That's how old I am. You didn't turn your computer tower on with your bug toe. You were not living. I don't... okay. My first crate, excuse 4 had one. What? At 15, I stole my neighbor's phone line to sign up for free AOL. Yeah, I love the free AOL and the discs and stuff. Oh, and the phone usage. You had to have a local number or you were going to get screwed. I'm pretty sure he mouthed 75. You heard it first. James is 75. I am, in fact, years old. The world changed when 386 chips hit the market. Switched from eternal temp to engine temp, though. No turbo. When I think that, all I hear is going turbo from Mighty Morphin. Sign up for America Online. A bit of technical difficulty on the age part. Okay. Well, I gotta go, guys. I got a another live stream to be a part of. If you guys are interested, I am the doctor. That is true. If you guys want to check it out, ultimately it'll be here. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.